video tutorial, we're going to walk through creating a JavaScript application capable of handling pin events in real time. You'll need a couple tools to get started. You'll need a recent web browser, either Apple Safari 6 or greater, Google Chrome 16 or greater, Microsoft Internet Explorer 10 or greater, Mozilla Firefox 11 or greater, or Opera 1210 or later. Next, you'll need a text editor. Notepad, gedit, or TextEdit will all work, but pretty much any text editor should do the trick. Make sure OmniScript is installed and running, and that you have at least one ScripTouch signature capture device hooked up to your computer. For this example, we're going to assume that you're going to be using an OmniScript instance installed on your local computer. We'll start by creating the files we'll need to make the example work. Open up a folder and create two new files. We'll create a tutorial HTML file and a tutorial JavaScript file. Let's open up the HTML file and make a skeleton HTML document. Add the doctype tag to indicate that this is an HTML5 application. Then create the open and close HTML tags. Next, create the head and body tags. Let's give our document a title and create a script tag that sources in the script file we just created. Now let's add an onload handler to our document body that calls a function we'll create in the JavaScript file in just a moment. Now we'll create a canvas tag we'll use to draw on later in our example. Save the document and open up the JavaScript file. Create the function we just referenced in the onload handler in the HTML document. Double check and make sure the function matches the one we're calling. Once that's done, we can start writing code. Let's start by creating a WebSocket along with a callback for the connection established, connection closed, and data received events. We'll put console.log statements in each of the callbacks so we can verify they're being called when we run the application. Now, just like in the previous examples, we'll add handlers to our onMessage callback. We'll start by handling the connection open just like before, where we open the first device on the server as soon as we connect. Let's add a handler for device open response, and then let's add a reference to our canvas and its drawing context at the top of our function. We'll need this in just a moment. Let's also set the stroke style to black while we're at it. Back in our device open response handler, let's extract the display width and height from the device and set the canvas to that size. Now let's add handlers for our pen events, starting with pen down. Let's add another variable to store the last point we received. When the pen goes down, let's set the last point to that. Now let's add handlers for pen up and pen move. We'll tell the context to start a path, move the path to the last point, and draw a line to the next point. Then we'll set the new last point to the current point. The last thing we need to do here is to add a handler for button press. Anytime the user presses a button on the device, it'll cause the screen to clear. Now let's test our application. Open a web browser and load the document. The device should automatically open, which doesn't appear to be happening. It looks like I forgot to deserialize the incoming data. Let's add a json.parse to that statement and try again. Okay, that looks better. Try writing on your signature pad. While you write, you should be seeing what you're writing mirrored in your web browser. You're handling pen events as they happen. This provides you much greater flexibility with how you handle input from your device. That concludes this video tutorial. You've learned how to manage incoming pen events as they're happening, and how to handle button presses as they occur. Thank you for watching the Scriptel Corporation tutorial.